Alright guys, I'm making this video. I don't really even... I'm nervous to make this video because it's actually very serious. It's not about me, it's about a topic that I take very seriously. As much as I joke on this channel and I'm funny and I even make jokes that are sometimes inappropriate, not necessarily about this, but just, you might not think I take something like this very seriously. But recently, a very tragic event happened very close to me, like close to where I live, and it's where it's not in my town, but the town my doctor's office is in, for reference, a place where I take my family to get food or coffee a lot of the time. And it's a domestic violence case gone wrong, terribly wrong, probably the most wrong something could go, and you may have even heard of this story. And I'm not going to name names. You can find the story yourself and read more about it. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown, which might not do it justice, and I'm not doing this for clicks. I guess I am, but I want it to be for a positive reason. The most positive you can make something out of what has happened. Because domestic violence is a real bad thing. I watched my mom get beat by multiple men through my childhood. Not my dad. My mom split up when I was very young. But I've watched my mom get beat terribly. I mean, beat up. I mean, hurt. I mean, thrown around. Tables thrown at her. I've seen her, her, shin bone was dented in one time. And, she was limping around the house. And I remember that was one of the most graphic things. I'm just sharing this because I want you to know that I can not relate to what this person had went through or what this event is, but the domestic violence side of it is very serious and dangerous. And my point is that domestic violence can get worse than just getting beat up or hit or something in that manner. So I'm going to make this video and I'm going to give you a rundown. So I'm just going to tell you the town it happened in. It happened in Tiffin, Ohio. Very close by, probably 30 minutes from me. My doctors are there. I go there twice a month to this town. This girl was in a relationship with a guy, and she has 2 kids. One with the guy that she was with at the time, and those two had a 7-month-old together. And this guy was abusive, and like I said, she has 2 kids. So the guy that she had her first kid with, who was 7, so she has a 7-month-old with the guy she's with now, and a 7-year-old with a guy she used to be with. So the guy that she used to be with was trying to help her get out of this situation, okay? And I'm going to try and not butcher what happened exactly. You can find the story and read mostly what happened, perfect par for what happened. I know what the end result of what happened, but it's not like I was there, so I'm just reading what I mostly heard being said countless times on posts of police reports and stuff like this. And I'm not even reading anything. I'm just trying to remember perfectly what I could, put it into preference and perfect it as well as I can for you here. So the guy that she had the 7-year-old with was at their home. They're not together anymore, but he was helping her get out of this relationship with the dad of the 7-month-old, and they were getting the kids packed up in the car and stuff like this. And apparently this guy, the abusive one, comes back and finds out about this and finds them. So apparently he pulls a firearm, shoots the man, the father of the 7-year-old. I don't know if he shoots him first, but he shoots him first, and then he turns the gun on the 7-year-old, shooting the 7-year-old. I'm not sure where he shot him, on his body or whatever. And then he shoots his own son, the 7-month-old, in the head and kills him instantly. And then he goes back and finishes off the man, I believe, the father of the 7-year-old. I believe he shot him, went to the kids, and then went back to shoot him. I believe that's what I read. But either way, then he shoots himself. And they all died. They all died. The 7-year-old went to the hospital and died later in the hospital with his. And so the mom was there and witnessed all of this, witnessed all of it. And I can't tell you how much this has been haunting me, because I'm a father of a 16-month-year-old, my 16-month-year-old son. I could never imagine being that much of a coward to do something like that. Not even just being abusive to a woman, let alone, but shooting my own son because, his mom wants to run away because I'm beating her. Like, that's the conclusion someone came to is insane to me. I just can't fathom that. And like I said, I know I normally joke and stuff on this page, and a lot of my viewers are young, people. But I want you to know that the world is very evil, and people like that exist. And that's something that really happened. So a man killed, this woman's kids, and his own kid, and then himself, and the woman, and the guy that was trying to help her, all because she was trying to leave a domestic relationship, and that was his outcome, and then shoots himself, and that was his outcome in his head, what should have happened. That was his rationale. And it makes me sick, and I don't want this to seem like I'm trying to get views because I want you to get views. I want to make this video because if you're in that type of situation, understand that you can talk to hundreds of people. I mean, thousands, millions of people, women and probably men that have been in, mostly women. We know that a lot more women probably go through domestic violence because they face it a lot more on a regular basis, at least documented, I believe. Don't take that for word, but I feel like I hear mostly women going through domestic violence, but I'm not saying men don't. I'm not saying that at all. But, you can talk to a bunch of them, and a lot of them will tell you, yes, I believe that this man would have killed me if I didn't get out of it. Or he tried to kill me when I tried to get out of it. Or so if you're in that situation, I truly believe if you see this right now, if you hear that story by coincidence, that should be your sign that, that could be you. And if you have a kid, you never know what they could, be wanting, intent to do in that aspect too. So I really hope this reaches somebody that, even if it's in the early stages of your relationship, if you're in a relationship for a few months and they're already showing signs of aggression towards you and hitting you, or even, not even all the way hitting you, but just hurting you in a way that isn't really that cool, it's not okay. Which, no way in hurting somebody is cool. But, I mean, just, maybe you should take that as a sign and, because it's a real problem. Like I said, I've seen it growing up a lot. And thank God my mom never had something like that happen. But, the men that she was with, I didn't know who they truly were down deep in their core. But, of course, you don't hit somebody that you love. You don't express hitting somebody that you love. That's not how you express love. There's a saying that kind of goes around, and it's popular, but you know what? It's popular because it makes sense. And it's a saying that goes, we may not know what love is, but we know what it's not. You might be confused on what love is and what it feels like, but you certainly know what love doesn't. You know what I mean? You know what the bad part. You know stuff what not loving someone feels like. So, and when somebody doesn't love you. So hitting somebody and something like that is a big factor, and I recommend that if you know anybody going through that, you should talk to them. You ain't even got to show them this video. Just talk to them. Get them out of that situation. Plead with them, too, because, you can find the story and show them, and I'm not making it up. It's a tragic, tragic story. And this girl's had a bunch of money raised for her, but that's not going to bring her kids back. And, you know what I mean? I would want to evaporate from this world if my son was taken from me like that. I mean, at all, but in such a gruesome manner is even more, haunting. So, I prayed for this family, but that's all I can do. That's all I can do, and that's all people can do is pray for this woman that had to see all that and live through that. Anyways, guys, I'm not going to ask you to like or subscribe and stuff. I just want you to, take this video as what it is. It's more of a me trying to just spread the word and awareness of how serious something like that is. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.